But what your client is expecting one thing and one thing only. They want to deal with somebody that is successful.
One thing you know about art school when I went to Dreyfus is that you have to sit there and see what they have to do.
Exactly.
You have no choice but to see what they can do. Professionally, that's not true. That's Disneyland. You can't go to their house to see if their clothes are folded. No. You can't see their work ethic. You know what you can do? Walk out to their car and see what that looks like.
Absolutely. Because realtors, you guys need to know this. You need to dress for success, okay? I have been to so many events, right? And obviously, like a selfish individual that I am, you know, my wife and I will go in there together, and the lady, because you guys know that real estate is controlled by ladies. 95% of the realtors are ladies. You guys have Mercedes-Benz of the Palm Beaches sitting here. Two of the top individuals over there, at least in my opinion. All right. Probably the other managers are not going to like me. No. That's the wise guy. That's that wise guy, okay? Marketing is so important in any type of sales, especially in real estate.
And they're like, oh, this guy got rich off of social media. Oh, this guy did this.
Oh, yeah.
What they don't see is all the hard work that happens in between. They don't realize that when the customers are actually meeting with that person, he's a full-blown professional. What I've seen is that you have these guys that put all this time and energy in the social media, which is essential, and it brings customers in front of them. However, when you can't back it,
oh my God,
when you cannot back it, if you're not professional,
absolutely,
you're out.
If it's taking you 100 rejections to get one person to agree to a listing, you want to look and see what are you doing wrong on the phone call. You know, what is it that I'm doing that's making this, you know, me not convince this person to let me show their properties.
You put the limit on what you want to increase. Everyone's got the same license by DBPR, and you see some people make $60,000, others make $160,000, others make $300,000-$400,000, others make $500,000, $1.5 million, $2 million a year. What is the difference? They all have the same license.
Yeah.
The very same license, okay? Second of all, the reason that they get this license is because they control their own schedule. Hello everyone, here we are today with very special guests from the Palm Beaches here. I probably have to say one of the best dealerships and the most important dealership in the entire Florida. Well, I can't say United States, but at least the state of Florida. We have the privilege of having our office manager here, Marcio. He is our general manager from Mercedes-Benz of the Palm Beaches.
Sales manager, that would be Peter. One of these days, sales manager.
We have our manager. We have our manager. No, but well, listen, one thing about us, we're always looking to move forward. So Peter, be on your toes. Make sure you cross all your I's.
He knows.
Yeah, dot all your I's and cross all your T's because you know Marcio is a go-getter. Okay, we're happy to have you here,
Thank
Marcio.
you.
And then we have our finance manager over here, Hector. This guy knows more about financing than I think anyone does in the car business. And careful in any line of work because that is yours. Forte right there.
Absolutely.
Nice to have you. Guys, I want to introduce you to our office manager, Lady Muslier. She is our beautiful office manager here at Partnership Realty. And we are tickled pink to have you guys because we heard some news. And this we heard about a week and a half ago. I want to find out if it's true or not. That anyone was to go over there to the Mercedes-Benz of the Palm Beaches, which is a huge store. Oh my God, it is beautiful. Right? That if they mention Partnership Realty, that they have certain discounts,
Absolutely,
they have certain offers.
Pretty aggressive deals. Just make sure if you're coming in, mention Partnership Realty, ask for Hector or myself, we'll connect you. And yeah, depending on new or used, we have pretty aggressive deal for you guys watching the podcast.
Yeah, I've got to say to you guys, listen, I've had realtors, and here I'm going to share a story with you guys. I had a realtor, she works strictly out of Palm Beach, okay? And she's telling me, she's been with me still, but she's telling me, you know, Ishmael, I don't have a lot of sales. And when I go over there to see a client, well, they kind of, you know, they talk to me, but I can't get the sale where they're representing the purchaser, or I can't get the listing. What am I doing wrong? I've got experience. I know what I'm doing. What am I doing wrong? I go, okay, first of all, I'm going to ask you a question, but I don't want you to get offended. Do not want you to get offended at this one bit whatsoever, okay? What type of car are you driving? That was the first question. I love that one, 100%. and she told me exactly the car. I go, change it. Change it. People don't understand. They have a misconception of the Mercedes. Yes, obviously the Mercedes is a well-made car. It's one of the best. But when you drive up in a Mercedes, it's not the same as driving up on one of these domestic cars.
And once you go there, you don't want to go back.
No. Once you start driving
That's
Mercedes, you don't want to go back. And another thing, so honestly, she followed my advice. She went there, and you will be shocked. You will be shocked that you can either lease it, or because depending on what incentives you guys have going out, you can either lease it or purchase it, and you are paying probably less than that domestic automobile.
Yeah.
And you are driving a Mercedes. And her words to me, this was like a couple of months later, goes, Ishmael, I can't believe how much business I've picked up when I've driven up on with the Mercedes car, And you don't have to buy the top of the line, because just the name itself speaks for itself.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
The name itself speaks for itself.
And even the most basic one gives you the comfort,
Absolutely.
gives you everything.
Of course.
So,
How about the safety?
The safety too.
The safety.
Yep.
Because you know me, I've wanted to be one of your great clients for 20 years?
Oh yeah.
You
Sounds
know?
a little kid.
Yeah. Oh no, I keep going back to the right car. So, and like I just said, listen, I've got, I think like a year left on my lease. I go, how soon can I get out? Because I want another one already. I want to switch it. And you want to switch it around. And here's the thing about this is, you don't as a salesperson want to be any greater than your client. But what your client is expecting, one thing and one thing only. They want to deal with somebody that is successful. So appearances is everything. They say it's not. It truly is.
It is.
It really truly is.
It's something that's interesting because I've done real estate for a little bit. And then
Oh, you did?
Yeah, for a little bit I did
didn't
real
know
estate.
that.
But the thing I noticed was exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if I'm, in car sales, your office, your building, people are coming into the building.
Oh,
So they're seeing the
absolutely.
building, they're seeing how nice it is, how beautiful it is. Oh my God, this is Mercedes-Benz
Yeah.
at Palm Beach. And so that is like the success. Okay, I'm in the right place.
Absolutely.
But for you guys, as a realtor, your office is your vehicle.
Yes, exactly.
So when somebody sees you show up, people aren't, running into your office every day, maybe 100
Right.
people, 200 people. They're out in the field. They're looking at houses. So your office is that car that you pull
I
up in.
apologize. I don't mean to laugh at this, but I could not agree with you more than a gazillion percent, not 100%. Imagine I'm giving you a $5.7 million listing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give it to ladies here. I'm going to give her a $5.7 million listing, all right? And she drives up to my home, and I'm not going to mention the car she's going to drive up in, and that's going to tell me a lot about her.
Yeah, of course.
It's the same thing as driving up to the dealership and seeing the presence of a just state-of-the-art, beautiful, modern, just absolutely you want to go in there. You're in.
Yeah.
It just kind of just pulls you in. Well, it's the same thing when you drive up with your car.
Yeah.
It tells me all about you.
Yeah.
Success or no success. Who do you think I want to give a $5.7 million listing to? To a successful individual or someone who's just barely scrapping and making ends meet?
Yeah, of course.
So
You're
we're
successful.
problem solvers, and I'll tell you what I say it all the time in our meetings. What we are in real estate as well. I was actually in real estate with you. believe it or not.
Yeah, you are.
But my whole family's in real estate, so I don't want so that was that. But
Why not?
but I was I found that in sales, really all we are, our entire value is problem solving. Where
Exactly.
your image comes into play. Unfortunately, I went to an art school, right, where you see all kinds of different people. They make different choices, different backgrounds. One thing about art school when I went to Dreyfus is that you have to sit there and see what they have to do.
Exactly.
You have no choice but to see what they can do. Professionally, that's not true. That's Disneyland. They don't have any reason. They don't owe us anything. They don't need to listen to us. They don't
True.
need to let us sit there and prove ourselves.
True.
What they're going to find out quickly is that person qualified visually by me looking at them to solve my problems. I'm sorry, if you're listing a $5.7 million house
Yeah.
and somebody comes into that house, and Honda's a great car, and a Honda, Toyota, Kia,
Nissan Altima.
God bless them. God bless them. The owner of the home
They are great
has the
cars,
right
too.
to feel that this person might not just right now be ready to solve the problem I have, which is unloading this house, as opposed to you come in, you look sharp, not only your vehicle, but from top to bottom, your shoes are shined,
Absolutely.
your beard is taken care of, your hair
Absolutely.
is combed. the worst. Here's the big one for me.
Absolutely.
When they wear a belt, but their shirt's hanging out the back.
Oh,
yeah.
He hasn't solved his own problems in the morning. He's not going to solve mine.
No, sir.
The image you show up to work with, and the work being that house, the presentation, the listing, that's going to help that person determine from the beginning whether you're even qualified
Precisely.
to solve my problems. And then based on that, that's going to determine how much they want to listen to you in the first place.
I've been in your dealership numerous times, and I go there, and you guys get, the 1% coming in.
Mm-hmm.
We got Wall Street of the South here now. I mean, you've got Wells Fargo that finally said, hey, we've been here in San Francisco for over 200 years, and they moved here. So we've got so many celebrities, which you can see them on Google, celebrities. Hey, Edmund, how are you? Guys, meet our chef here.
Ahora sí llegó el
El
café.
café.
There we
¿Qué
go.
tenemos ahí? Expresso?
Espresso.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Fantastic.
We're going
Do you guys do that over there?
here.
Yeah, only at
Yeah,
Partnership Realty here.
Absolutely.
I feel like this
Only at
podcast,
Partnership
Only at Partnership
Realty.
Realty.
this
Please.
podcast is
Put a
gonna last
review.
longer
Yeah.
with Ishmael drinking that.
No, you give me an espresso, and this podcast will go on for about 8 hours. Oh, you kidding me? I
We get
can't,
a tunnel vision.
touch it.
I know.
I cannot, but I love it.
Se trepe por las paredes otra vez.
While he does this, what's and I hate to not give credit. but
Gracias.
I saw
Disfrútenlo.
an interview once, and I think it was Grant Cardone. So I
Yeah.
hate to not give somebody credit, but he talked about when you're interviewing somebody, what's the best way to see the kind of employee you have? Because somebody can sit in front of you guys today and say, I'm a phenomenal realtor.
Yeah,
I'm really good.
Great,
I work so
great
hard.
resumes.
You can't go to their house to see if their clothes are folded.
No.
You can't see their work ethic. You know
No.
what you can do? Walk out to their car and see what that looks like
Absolutely.
On
Here's
the
the thing.
inside,
Yeah.
and then I beg to differ because I'm a mom of 2 kids, and my car isn't always sharp, but the outside looks good.
It's clean. Yeah.
And
No,
mom's
I know
always
Marcy
the
was
exception.
talking about.
But you see like a guy like me that doesn't have if my gym bag is open in the bag.
yeah.
But you just told me you're gonna be organized. I don't know.
No. You know what? I've had individuals that come in here and they have to go through me all the time. We have these great programs and we want to teach your realtors. So they have to go through me. And if they have anything of value, obviously, doors were open. I mean, we've got 2 beautiful state-of-the-art classrooms here. And we've got some of these studios and so much more. And I will open up the doors to them if they show me something of value. So now how do I know if they're really, because they're really good, they're just good talkers, right? Which a lot of them truly are. That's why they were picked out to become that salesperson. So I actually always walk them out. Let me walk you out. I do that a lot. Let me walk you out. And then I'm going to walk you out, and it was a pleasure talking to you and this and that. And then I see what you get into. I go, you're not getting back in here again. Because if you are that successful individual, honestly, you will be dressing for success. I've been in at the dealership numerous times where, I've seen cars that belong to major celebrities in there. Major celebrities, that I've seen them in there. And not for nothing, but we were at I just did a video that's going to be coming out really soon. It's an open house video. It's going to be coming very soon. It's a $42 million home. And I want to ask you guys a question to see, or maybe I should ask Lady, because I know you guys know the answer on this one there. But I'll probably ask her. So right in front of the entrance of the home, there were 2 cars parked there. There was a Toyota and there was a Nissan. $42 million homes.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm lying or I'm saying the truth?
No.
No.
I think you're lying.
I know you're lying. Yeah, there was a Rolls-Royce convertible there, and there was a Bentley there. Obviously friends of ours, which you know who they are. Okay, and they were parked there, and would you give a $42 million listen to a niece? Listen, I'm going to park my 2 cars up front, if you don't mind. I'm going to park the Hyundai, and then I'll park on the other side. He's already laughing. He's already laughing.
Yeah.
And the price difference is not that big. People are scared about the
Right.
brand.
They're
and
not.
it's I promise you, it's not a big difference between one and the other.
Absolutely not.
Because you can get better rates and better services, and you don't have to worry about repairs because it is a good car.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's a car for life. I mean, if you want to go take the hood, just seal it. I mean, just take it to the welder and say, just weld the hood.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. We don't need to open it up because that could go for like 10 years without having a oil change, which I don't recommend, guys. Right? Don't recommend to do that. None of this, please do not practice at home. This is just a joke of mine. But nevertheless, you're right. When you come in there, you guys can incorporate at a very, very reasonable and very, very low price all the maintenance and things like that, correct?
Of course. It also depends too on what kind of store you're buying from, because maybe you buy a vehicle at a domestic brand that maybe they don't sell a lot of cars. So for them to go and make their money, they have to sell it. They have to sell it without very many discounts. Where if you go to a volume store like ours, we're going to discount.
We're an important view, right?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Did you guys hear that? That is so important. Right. If they're not selling, they're going to have to sell those products where you guys were completely different. You guys are giving away those products, and like I said, I love it. I bring my car in there. I get a loaner. If I don't want to wait around, I get a loaner and I just leave it there and I walk out. I pay for nothing.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm driving the right car because
absolutely.
there's not a smoother ride than, I mean, there's a lot of great cars out there.
Yeah.
Today's technology is phenomenal, but nevertheless, you're not going to get that $5.7 million listing or that $42 million listing, period.
Yeah, because for example, the best-selling vehicle for Mercedes-Benz in the country right now is the GLC. And so that vehicle.
That's what I have.
Yeah, that's a great car. And the thing is, typically that car, if you look at it in the way that it drives, the way that it looks like a more expensive car than it should be. But the thing is, because we sell so many of them, that's our volume pusher.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a car that we're going to go and give a really good price on right off the bat because we do sell a lot of those vehicles.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I totally agree on this here, and this is why I'm so glad to have you guys here. Because realtors, you guys need to know this. You need to dress for success, okay? I have been to so many events, right? And obviously, like a selfish individual that I am, my wife and I will go in there together, and the lady, because you guys know that real estate is controlled by ladies. 95% of the realtors are ladies, and then you got
I've seen the shows.
yeah. So you see the show. They're all ladies. The other 5% is probably gentlemen like me, But I will defend myself there. I will. I've been doing this a long time, so I'm doing pretty good.
It's so funny that this show is going on Women's Day.
Yeah. It's coming out on
International Women's
on
Day.
International Women's Day. Well, we went in there, and at many other ones like that, these open houses, and we've been to the, to the brokers' opens and things like that. And what I love about the realtor and they're selling these multi-million-dollar homes, they don't look at me. They do not look at me, and I'm dressed really sharp. I got Versace on. I got, Ferragamo on. I've got all this. They don't look at me. You know who they look at? My wife. They will do from top to bottom, and that will tell them whether they want to do business with you or not. Wow. I swear to you, I look at them and I go, oh my God, why is she looking at my wife? And she is just analyzing her completely. That says a lot about her husband. And it says a great deal about our success and my wife as well.
I hope my husband is watching this.
Take a tip here, okay? Te lo digo en español.
Sí.
Escucha bien, ¿ok? Esto es muy importante.
Los suelas rojas dicen mucho de ti.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, no, yeah, guys, that's, great advice, something else that I want to cover with you guys, because you guys are huge on that, and especially you. Oh my God, I'm so impressed. I've taken him out to Jacob. I've taken him out to lunch, and just to get his advice, I want to hear it. And the great thing about Hector is he's got nothing to hide. He will help you. He will just give you pointers and tippers, and he's phenomenal, guys. Just follow him. Just follow him.
That's Mercedes. Hector sells Benz. Instagram, TikTok.
Say it again one more time.
Hector sells Benz in TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
Soon to be YouTube.
It's soon to be YouTube. Yeah, and he does a phenomenal job. But marketing is everything.
Yeah, of course.
Marketing is everything for any type of. We're in sales. You guys are selling a different commodity. We're selling a different commodity, but it's sales. Wherever any way we put it, we're in sales, and marketing is huge.
Of course.
So you guys do a phenomenal job, and I see you. You do a phenomenal job for the store. I'm always impressed. I love it. I'm always hitting like, you know. I'm always hitting like, you know, because you make me laugh all the time.
Yeah, I mean
with
that's
the
the thing
creative
too.
stuff that comes to your mind. You know?
You know, the big thing with any kind of content you're creating, it's you want to really look at. I think myself as the audience.
Yeah.
If somebody's watching, I'm like, would I want to watch this?
Precisely.
Is it entertaining, but also trying to, give the information you're trying to share, but in a way that you can spin it where it's entertaining and fun to listen to.
Is this something that you basically sit there and you plan it out? This is what I'm gonna do, or is it just spontaneous?
Sometimes it's spontaneous, sometimes it's planned
Right.
out, but I find the spontaneous stuff is the one that does the best.
Me too. That's what we do
it's the
here.
one that does the best.
Spontaneous. Yeah.
Because it's real, and
Yeah.
that's what people want to see now. Like it's the stuff that highly edited is great.
Yeah.
But then if it's highly edited, you want to have a contrast of a little bit of improvisation going on.
Precisely.
There has to be something real attached to it, or else it just feels
I
watered
agree.
down.
Right, yeah. Like you watch these infomercials and you watch these commercials, you can tell, oh my God, they were so paid.
Yeah, I know.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? You see, I'm like, oh, how boring. Testimonials, live testimonials and things like that. And like you said, just something, improvised
Yeah.
is phenomenal because they know it's true.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know?
And also,
So-
what are you doing for the person who's watching? Like, I see a lot of salespeople who they want to put social media and they'll put like, oh, just sold this car to this client. Who's going to really watch that? Other than your clients who bought the car. Really, the person who's going to watch it wants to see something entertaining.
That's exactly what I'm
Yeah.
always saying to the realtors.
Yeah.
Stop posting just so
Yeah, yeah.
that doesn't matter.
I
Yeah.
don't
It's not
care.
important.
Show me the house.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
you guys got to understand something. Listen, our audience, please, listen to this here. You guys have Mercedes-Benz of the Palm Beaches sitting here. Two of the top individuals over there, at least in my opinion. All right? Probably the other managers are not going to like me.
No.
That's the wise guy. That's that wise guy, okay? Scratch him off. He's not going to get those discounts anymore, okay? And no more coffee for him, So, sorry about that. I have a lot of high respect for you guys, too. But anyway, two of my favorite guys are sitting in here because you guys, we talk a lot. We have so much in common. Always we do. And we share a lot of stories together and things like that. But marketing is so important in any type of sales, especially in real estate, and especially in cars too. I mean, competition. You're full of competition.
Of course, absolutely.
You're full of competition. We need to be the best, and you guys are the best. That's why you're there, because you're the best. There's no one better than you guys. If not, you wouldn't be there. So you guys are the top of the food chain.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this is what I try to tell realtors all the time as well too. Realtors, guys, you need to be different. And like you said, and ladies said it, I know the testimonials are good and stuff like that, but no, we need to come up with new marketing ideas, something different, and that's why I teach a lot here. We teach here on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays. And we teach them in 3 different languages. We do classes in, in English, we do them in Spanish, and we also do them in Creole. This
Wow.
Wednesday, we got a class in Creole
Very cool.
for the, Creole-speaking community.
Big
and
community
things
here.
like that. It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, that and Brazilian now is huge here too.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, no,
Coming up.
We're in South,
Coming up.
we're in South Florida, guys. This is a mixture of
It
everything.
is a
here.
melting pot.
It's a melting pot.
It
Yeah.
is.
But I'll tell you what, I would caution the younger guys, because we just had to kind of show somebody the way out because of a similar instance. So one, I think marketing is number one. It's
Right.
not a good idea. It's not a sort of. It's a necessity. It's a requirement.
Absolutely, it's a necessity.
But I caution you, if you're going to market yourself and you're going to go all the way, you're going to do all these videos, you're going to do all these funny things, you're going to talk about how hardworking you are and how you should be the guy that they should come see, understand something. Your standard is here because you put it there. So what I've seen, and this is my experience, you have a lot of guys that come in and they younger, right? Now I'm 32, so I don't feel like I'm as. But back then, when I was in my 20s, I felt like I was in the niche,
Yeah.
or in the know. And they're like, oh, this guy got rich off of social media. Oh, this guy did this.
Oh, yeah.
What they don't see is all the hard work that
Yeah.
happens in between. They don't realize that when the customers are actually meeting with that person, he's a
Yeah.
full-blown professional.
Yeah.
What I've seen is that you have these guys that put all this time and energy in the social media, which is essential, and it brings customers in front of them. However, when you can't back it,
Oh my God,
when
yes.
you cannot back it, if you're not professional,
Absolutely.
you're out. So Hector won't tell you too much about himself, but I'll toot his horn a little bit. Hector and I met back when, I was in Marino Performance. It was an exotic car dealership. Really, it's a great exotic car dealership.
Yeah.
Still love them to death. Gil, Greg, all the guys there. So I had gone to school. I got a marketing and business degree, but I kind of like the auto industry. So I started doing marketing for them. And then I started selling. And out of nowhere, one day, a kid, and this is now 10 years ago, starts knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Hey, can I film your cars? Can I do a review of your cars? Mind you, he's not at Mercedes, he's not at Honda, he's not at like BMW.
Yeah.
No, he's asking for like $400,000 or $500,000 cars. So we're like, why would we give you the keys to this car?
Really?
Yeah, why would we do that? And his offer to us is, well, I'm going to market for you guys. I'm going to make a really good video, but still, a lot of car. Where Hector kind of like made us finally turn the keys over was the relentlessness, the work ethic. At some point, I remember sitting with Greg and I said, not for nothing, Greg. The kid, he's dedicated. I mean, we got to give it to him. We're on weeks now. He's asking. He checks in.
Yeah,
so finally, we turned the keys over.
Yeah.
He did a review. It was phenomenal. It was on a Range Rover SVR. So it wasn't the most, but let's just see what happens. But he got his foot in the door. Fast forward a couple of years, that stuck with me. I got dragged over to another store to start selling for them. And then from then, I got brought over to Mercedes now with the current general manager, Peter, who promoted me to finance. And then from finance, the sales manager, then new, used, the whole bit. And over the years, I never forgot about Hector and how hardworking he was. And at one point, he was at Audi. And whenever I had a customer, I refer them only to Hector.
Of course.
Because nonetheless, I knew he was marketing, but I knew there's a lot of people marketing.
Yeah.
But he was the guy marketing that could back it.
Exactly.
So I remember one day Hector walks in the door. And I see him from the corner of my eye. I'm at the manager's desk. And I stand up. And I said, don't say nothing. Are you looking for a job? Please tell me
That's exactly his
you're
words.
looking for a job.
Please tell me you're looking for a job.
So he goes, yes. I go, great. I don't need to see your resume. I don't have a job. Give me a week. I'll make one.
Yeah.
I'll find a seat. Somebody's got to go.
That's exactly what happened. Literally, like to the T.
So
Yeah.
in a week, I kind of strategize. Who's on my bench that I don't need. Gone.
I tell that to realtors all the time. You got to be persistent. You got to be relentless.
Yep.
And go out there. Partnership Realtors got over like 2,500 listings throughout the entire state of Florida with all of our realtors that we've got. And I tell the realtors, go out there and promote these homes. It's the same thing as Hector was doing by coming in and asking permission to promote one of your high-end cars when you're at that other dealership. Well, it's the very same thing with the realtors. They need to go out there. And they need, it's another realtors, partnership realtors, listing agent, excuse me, as property. But what's the worst thing you could do? Sell it? What was the worst thing you could have done for them? Sell their car? You see what I mean? There's such, in common in our lines of work. Again, we're different, selling different content, but nevertheless, it's so much in common that we do have to keep, and professionalism is everything. I tell realtors all the time, and I'll never stop saying it. I go, realtors, guys, if you're walking up, I don't care if it's a Sunday or a Saturday, if you're coming up, and it's on the beach. We have a lot of beachfront properties.
Yeah.
And the clients come in, and they've got sandals, they've got a T-shirt, they've got a pair of shorts. Not you. You better be there, dressed to kill.
Yeah.
You better show them that you are a professional.
Yeah.
And then, not only the appearance, you better back it up. So that's why with all these trainings and these classes that we do, we teach them all about real estate laws, financing, ethics, practice, conduct, steps, procedures, forms, you name it. So if you put all that blend together, now you got the perfect mix, and you're going to have then your real estate career is going to go to, this is a career for life. Real estate is for life.
100%.
We have individuals that are in their 90s, in their 80s, mid-80s, 70s, and 60s. And I'll tell you one thing about them: they're not over at that Social Security office. they're traveling, they're helping out their children's, grandchildren's, great-grandchildren's, you know, and I see them all the time and they're happy as heck. They say money doesn't buy anything. Are you kidding me? It does.
Yeah.
It does when you can help others and yourself.
Of course.
You know, so yeah, I totally agree upon that one there, you know. So yeah, no, we've got a lot here in common, you know, in what we do. And there's something here that I want to share with you guys. I want to see what you guys' thoughts are on this one here. Realtors will come in, they're brand new, you know, and sometimes by just me being a little bit sarcastic and me just being funny, you know, trying to be funny, only in my mind, okay? So I will tell them, listen, if you want to be a very successful, one of the best realtors there is in the entire state of Florida, I'm going to tell you to go out there and get a job for 4 months at this one location, and then I want you to go to the second location and get a job for 3 months and then come back and see me. What is the training that you're going to go get? Go work at a car dealership. That's number one. When you meet all the walks of life that walk in, and all the different personalities, and we have to have patience. We have to have, you know, everything that's required to be able to help them, because they come in from all over the world. Okay, I mean, like you said, Florida's, or even South Florida, is a melting pot.
It is.
Okay, so when you can deal with those type of clients, you know, you're almost prepared in my book. Go to the second one now and say, I want you to become a bartender.
Oh, yeah.
I want you to become a bartender for at least a couple months. If you can deal with, again, all the melting pot, all the walks of life that's sitting right in front of you with about 3 or 4 drinks that, you know, with 3 or 4 drinks, there's nothing coming out of that mouth worth listening to. There is not one single thing there that you're going to go, oh my God, you're so right. You know, nothing like that at all. So when you're able to handle these types of individuals, you are able to handle a $42 million, $150 million home and $8 million property, because you're able to handle people.
Yeah.
You know, and we are in the people business.
Yeah.
You know, we have to have all type of we have all types of degrees, even though we weren't awarded the degrees as a therapist, marriage counselor, financial, you know.
We have the experience.
We have the experience, you know, and you get them all the time. You get them all the time, as we do too.
Yeah. I mean, what I think about when you're saying that is like you want to learn how to overcome objections.
Exactly.
You know, in a way where it's doesn't even feel like an objection.
Precisely.
You know, it's more of like it's just something that, like Marcia said earlier, it's problem solving. So you know, you're right now looking at them bringing you a rejection. You know, and you could use it in anywhere in life. You could use this for, you know, meeting your partner, if it's with your kids, and everything ends up becoming a negotiation.
Everything. You know? There's nothing like that. Exactly. Yeah. It could be a relationship. It could be a friendship.
Yep.
It could be anything that you just want to step back and say, let's give them their space.
Yeah.
I have a question behind the cameras.
Okay.
I know people, it's a lot of crazy people around. What's the most crazy thing you have selling a car?
What is the most craziest experience
well, Corey
that
just
you've
almost
had?
got ran over on Saturday.
Really?
We had. I'll give you one.
I didn't even know that one.
It never ends. It never ends. I've seen it
Oh,
all.
ours doesn't ever end too.
And now you guys have seen it all. But just on Saturday, we had somebody, which we all kind of knew from the get-go. It was a little. This light shines a little different. You know?
Okay.
Or doesn't.
we were already cautious. We're like, hey, we agreed to a deal. We'll bring the car in, but we want a deposit. Are you sure? Because we just weren't confident. Anyways, agree to the deal, everything. Gives the salesperson the deal jacket, whatever.
Yeah.
They come over to the desk. They start getting everything ready. I don't know what it was. Instead of saying, hey guys, you know, I had to change a part. I just don't feel comfortable with the deal anymore. But no, that's what we would do. Any of us here.
Yeah.
But not this one. This one runs around the back of the dealership, like runs out, jumps under her car, and then almost runs over one of my salespeople.
Oh my God!
And I reached out and said, you know, what happened? Nothing changed, nothing new. You know, loves a salesperson, by the way. So you're thinking something must have been said. And let me ask you a question. If you buy a house, let's just make a hypothetical. If you buy an investment home for $500,
right,
and you plan on selling it for $600, what's your profit?
You have to take in account the closing costs when you buy, and then the closing costs when you go to sell it.
It's like 100 less costs.
Oh, yeah, probably about 75,000, something like that. 75,000.
Would you
as
say,
long as there's no repairs?
Would you say that 600 would be your profit?
Holy jeez.
No. So that was her logic. He said, well, you guys gave me, like it was like in the 20s for the trade.
Holy
Upper
jeez.
20s, like 27, and you guys are gonna sell it for 30. So you guys are making 30K on my trade.
Oh my God!
So-
no.
So that was on Saturday. That's nothing.
At that point, did you
once a
do
week.
this, sir? Hold on for a second. Hello, Hector. Can you come over, please? We need you. And give him. He handles all the mental institutions. Handles all the
Shove him in my
mental
office.
ones.
And that's light.
Just shift him in your office. And
Yeah.
He is great. He's got the answer to your question, sir. Sit with him here.
Yeah.
That's where you're going. Oh my God.
And that's just a day, and that's just light. And you know, kind of what you said, the reason I think it's, you know, what you're saying is a good idea is the problem in real estate is you might only have to deal with a problem or a rejection or a failure once a month in the beginning.
Yeah.
You might only have us showing in the beginning.
Oh.
Whereas in the car business, you get a chance to fail multiple times a day.
Yep.
And that's not something you should be scared of. In theory, when you start, you should want to fail as fast as you possibly can so you can learn all the problems there are to
Exactly.
have as fast as you can learn them. The key there is, though, once you fail and you figure it out, don't fail again.
Exactly.
But it is tough to
Learn from
grow
your mistakes.
when you're not failing often enough, when you're not failing fast
Right.
enough, when you're not going through problems fast enough. And I
Right.
think as a realtor, you know, you hope to walk in and have a client a day, but that's just not reality.
Yeah.
And then as far as bartenders go, I worked at when I was in college, I worked at the Improv.
Oh, did you?
So I've seen it.
Phenomenal place.
Yeah, I've seen it all. I've seen it. I mean, they would really imagine you're.
Oh, yeah.
I was the ninja. I was in college, and you have to like sneak between the rows
Yeah.
with drinks, and then
Yeah.
all it takes is that one lady to go, "Oh, that's hilarious," and then you got water flying everywhere. Then the clients want to fight you, and you got to make them laugh.
It wasn't that big.
Yeah.
I remember it
It was
wasn't
like
that
this.
big. Yeah, it
But it's
wasn't that
good.
big.
You learn to have under really bad circumstances.
Yeah.
Being a bartender or working in that industry, you kind of learn to make light of a bad situation.
Precisely.
And kind of bounce back quick. So I think, yeah, I mean, some people have the fortune of failing a lot when they're young.
Yeah.
And they get good grit. They have good people skills. They have great common sense, which you need in our industry. Obviously, you need book smarts, but that's from studying. But you got to have good common sense. You have
Absolutely.
to have good people skills. So I
Absolutely.
think, yeah, a job where you can fail quickly and often, I think is
Yeah.
essential. To be
No,
successful.
absolutely no. No, failure is education.
Yeah.
Yep.
Failure
It
is education.
It's data.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
failure
getting
is data.
instant data. Okay, well, this is what I did
It is.
wrong. How can I improve the next time? And move from there, you know.
Exactly. I totally agree with you 100%. One of the things that I tell the realtors here all the time, you know, is that a lot of them just don't find the patience. I go, guys, listen, just trust in me, put up with it, take deep breath, do whatever you have to, okay, to calm down and just listen to them. Listen to them and make sure, as long as they're within common sense,
But
not
that's
like the one
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
got the other day.
That
You know,
is a skill that you have to learn because I'm
Yeah.
myself not a patient person.
yeah.
And I had to learn to breathe, to
Yeah.
know,
You
maybe
must
think
breathe.
of the good thing that is coming after the transaction is done.
Well, here I'm gonna share a funny story
But
with you
it's-
guys.
Well, here, you know what? One of the things I always say is like I'm very fortunate to even have the opportunity to deal with this problem.
Oh
A lot
my
of
God,
people
love you, love
don't
it,
even
love
have
it.
an opportunity
Love
to deal
it.
with the problem in the first place, and
Yeah.
that's how
Well
we make
said.
our living.
I applaud you on that one. I truly applaud you on that one. There, one of the things that I do with a lot of situations like that, I will you know, slow down. You'll actually see me slow down to where the individual will say, "Did you get a good night's rest?" And they just don't know what I am doing is slowing down so slowly, so I could actually spend the next 3-4 hours with you as long as you want,
Yeah.
and you know, and listen to you carefully. Because if I'm going at my pace, I will probably, you know, walk you out of there within 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
dude, you're out of your mind. Get up. No, man, you know, go back and watch this class or this class. Here's a list of things to do. So no, I just actually slow down. And they even go, you must have had a long day today. No, I have you.
Yeah.
That's what they said. I swear to God, they go me. You must have had a long day. I go. I know what I feel like saying is, no, I have you, and sitting in front of me, you know. And what I do is I just slow down to a pace that, you know. But you're right. I mean, we have to know. And then another thing that I tell realtors all the time, guys, just push hard, work hard at what you're doing. Be very persistent, like you did, Hector. There,
Yep, absolutely.
and you got your foot in the door. Look where you are now.
Yeah.
Okay, where you are right now.
Then got promoted.
Right.
Had twins.
Had twins.
And-
Very persistent.
Had twins. He called it too, by the way, that I was gonna have twins.
The
right
second I
before it
saw him,
happened.
Oh my God! Oh yeah,
Yeah.
now with the 2 twins.
Yeah. Absolutely.
A lot of patience.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I definitely have to.
Yeah.
I have a question for Hector about the cold calls.
Uh-huh.
Because when I first got into real estate, I tried to cold call expired listings and a lot of people, and I feel so bad when I got 100 rejections. How
Uh-huh.
do you handle the rejections and
Well,
overcome that?
so there's a couple things you want to look at. Is you want to see. First of all, I loved when I was in real estate. Expired listings was my thing. That was like my niche. What I like to do. I actually didn't even like showing the property. I just wanted to stay on the phone. But the big thing is, you, like I said earlier, it's data. So if it's taking you 100 rejections to get one person to agree to a listing, you want to look and see what are you doing wrong on the phone call. What is it that I'm doing that's making this, me not convince this person to let me show their property? Because at the end of the day, when you're calling them, they don't want to hear from you. They don't
Absolutely.
want they don't want you calling them. So you want to kind of make a script on how you're going to help this person out. Because if I'm calling an expired listing, they were trying to sell this property. They're really like they wanted to, and for some reason they failed. And so I'm calling to see why it failed, where it failed. And ultimately get them the money that they're looking to get. So if you come from a place of service and how can I help and I have a solution to your problem, then it ends up becoming a lot easier. And also, if you are really trying to help the customer, if you get a rejection, so what? Then that customer just doesn't understand that you're trying to help them, and sometimes they can't help themselves. So I'm moving on to the next one. Whoever actually wants my help.
Yeah.
So that for me is the big thing with the cold calling is you gotta know that you're trying to actually help somebody, have a plan of how you're gonna help them, and that's it.
And have a thick skin.
We
You have to
are
have thick skin,
in
yeah.
two very complicated industries because people have put out there that car salespeople and realtors
Oh, no,
are
yeah,
the
that's-
enemies
They're
and that
not.
we just want to make money
Yeah.
and that we don't care about them, and it's really hard to get them to change their mind and to get to know good people and good people in business, because I understand that there's bad people in car sales and
Good point, lady.
Of course.
Very good point. Something I was talking to Marcio the other day, probably about a week ago or something like that, week and a half ago. So we're talking about like tomorrow we have a very big event with the soup kitchen at Boynton Beach, helping out the community, the needy community, and they are a phenomenal organization, nonprofit. They don't charge anything, and I mean we give away groceries, warm meals, and this is daily, 7 days a week. And you guys, obviously, Mercedes-Benz of the Palm Beach is at a bigger, much bigger level. You guys really, and then when Marcio's telling me about everything that Mercedes does, so yeah, no, people just don't oversee that they do need our help to help them with not only finding the right car, okay, and then structuring it in a way to where all your services are paid for, oil changes are paid for, the tires and all the maintenance are paid for, and helping them with all the features because, wow, today's technology, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But at the same token, what we do for the community. So, like, you guys are, at a certainly much higher level than Partnership Realty is, but nevertheless, we think alike. Here we are helping back to the community. So it's not just, like you said, lady, taking. No, we're helping the community.
Absolutely.
We're helping the community and helping them in so many different ways. Like tomorrow we have that. I'm so excited. I can't wait for it. And it's with the soup kitchen over there, and we're going to be recording it. It's going to be seen also throughout the airways, everywhere, social media. We're big on social media.
Yeah.
We're big on social media on there. So, but yeah, I mean, people don't see that we are there to help. And honestly, I have seen so many people that have come to me, and they've tried doing it on their own, and not everybody is a professional. Well, let's not use the word professional. It's a kind, kind, honest person. Let me just put it that way. I have seen so many crooks take individuals' money, okay, and their paperwork was done wrong, and they thought they were saving money to end up losing money. I've got stories and stories and stories and stories. Today I'm going to deal with one of them that I want to help, and we're not even related, but they were recommended over to me to help them with this very major issue, and I'm going to help this client, her and her husband. I'm not going to charge them a thing. I'm not an attorney, but I know exactly what she and then what her and her husband needs to do. So yeah, we are so important in our industry on helping.
Of course.
Yeah, it's people don't quite see that sometimes.
Well, even in the little things too. Like I've looked at your listings and I see the pictures, and you can tell that there was care that was given into it.
Absolutely.
There was they're quality photos.
Professionalism.
I see realtors all the time who I want to list your property, and then you take the picture and it's with their iPhone. And
Oh,
it's
are you kidding me?
It's like that.
Or a really tiny and small, like
terrible
that.
lighting,
Horrible.
That shows that you're really telling the customer, I don't care about
Right.
your listing, I don't care about you, I just
Yeah.
care about the paycheck. So let me just get paid the easiest way possible.
Not going to happen. You won't be the realtor for me.
Correct.
So we always should take pride, and I always say, spend a couple dollars. Realtors actually can charge it back to the client at the day of closing. Realtors can actually charge for whatever that fee is, as long as it's allowable by the client. It says, I'll pay for it when we sell it. But and it's really inexpensive, but it says a lot about you. So someone that's looking maybe at a $500,000 property, and I'm sorry, you're selling a listing a $500,000 property, and someone who's been following you now, and they got a $1.5 million listing, they're going to go, he's a professional. Look at the way he conducts himself. Look at the way he, does everything. And one thing I hate in public remarks, talking about the automobile.
Yeah.
All right, or talking about the car. I mean, talking about the home in this case. Great neighborhood next to I-95 and the Turnpike. Done. Are you kidding me? You are just going to describe my home like that?
Yeah.
I want you to go in there and explain, sell it, detail it, tell all about the home. Just don't go in there. Great neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was your salesperson, you might talk to him one time, and if he's got a bad habit on doing it again, you'll probably say, well, we might not be the right dealership for you. You might want to go down the road.
Especially with ChatGPT.
I like the ones where they start saying like, oh, it's in an up-and-coming, thriving neighborhood located near this, and that, and you can start picturing like, oh, I'm going to go here on Saturday, and like, they care.
Yeah.
Not only did they sell the house, but they actually figured out like what that life looks like for the next owner.
Precisely.
Paint the picture.
You're selling a lifestyle. But here, I want to go back into because her question was so interesting, and I've got so much to talk about on this one here. I have seen one thing that I love dealing is with reputable, industries. Okay, that I know if we have an issue, I can come back over there. I could see, Marcio, or basically anyone in that dealership, because it starts from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's good leadership at the top, it goes all the way down to the bottom. Everybody knows how to do things correctly. Okay. Imagine going to one of these dealerships where you go back in there, go, sir, we sold you the car. It was as is. Get off the lot. Well, they probably won't say that specific word, but you guys would never do that.
No.
You guys would find a way, and that's what makes you, that's why you are who you are. So Partnership Realty is the very same way. We're going to help individuals regardless of whatever case is going on, So thank you so much.
Bill Belichick always says it's not about, I think he said it's not about how you win. It's not about winning or losing. It's about how you do it. Right. Because, like we talked about his Range Rover and your listings, it's going to sell whether you like it or not. That Range Rover, it was going to sell. Unless we blew that thing up. Yeah. Guess what? It was going to sell. But how it was sold determines whether I'm going to use that realtor again or whether I'm going to use Hector again.
Exactly.
How it happens matter. What was the experience like? What was the communication like? What was the quality of the presentation?
Exactly.
And then realistically, I say it all the time to my sales guys. I say, this job should get easier every year. If every year you're revisiting it, like your first year, and you're looking for deals, every month, like it's your first month, you failed the year before. The way it's supposed to go is you do a really good job your first year, not just in selling, but in the performance. That way your second year, yes, you're still looking for new customers, but your old customers, guess what they're doing? They're sending you ones too. So instead of saying I want to sell 10 homes or 12 homes, I'm going to sell 10 or 12 homes again, but I'm going to get 5 from last year. And so on and so on and so on, and next thing you know, you're Ismael, and you have you got realtors in Mars, building colonies, and that's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah.
And to what you said, You can't control prejudice. You cannot.
No.
You cannot. People are going to wake up and they're going to say, it's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to you. You know, you get some people, I don't want to deal with a Hispanic. I don't want to deal with a woman. I don't want to deal with a young person or a too old of a person. You have no control over that.
No, we have no control over that.
So accept that right off the bat. You know, you guys should look this up. It's Tony Robbins. It's 7 affirmations. I'm not going to tell you what they are.
Okay.
They know, my sales guys, I say it all the time. But the 4th one is focus on the things you can control. I can't control prejudice coming through the door, but I can control how I greet them. Do I shake their hand?
Absolutely.
You know, submissive, aggressive. Do I present myself as soft? Am I listening? Am I wearing, you know, right now I'm wearing green because we're here. But if I were a sales guy, I'd wear light colors, light blues.
Exactly.
The things that I can't change that I'm Spanish. I can't change that I'm young.
Right.
I can't change that they might think I'm ugly or I might not be the gender they prefer.
Right.
But I can control the little details that say, hey, you know, not who I was thinking of, but it's a professional.
Pleasant experience.
Yeah.
Pleasant experience.
Yeah.
That we can control.
Absolutely.
We want to make it as most pleasant as possible. Guys, we have something we want to give you guys. We want to thank you. So it's a little token of our appreciation for you being here. So this one here is particular. So for both of your office, here, take a look at that there. And,
that's awesome.
so,
Only part of
I
the
mean, the best, the top of the line, highest in its category, and take a look at that one there.
That's
Your
awesome.
Mercedes-Benz of the Palm Beaches here, and here you've got 2 of the top individuals, you know, that you could use this. And I want you to know that this was hand-painted by our artist. Our artist took a couple of weeks to do this, but nevertheless, it was well, you know, designed.
AI? It's a Cuban name. AI. Very cool.
It
Thank you
sounds
guys.
like a Cuban name, right? AI.
AI.
Yeah. So I don't know. Can we show that to the audience there? You know, there we go. Yeah. So yeah, I think they're gonna love you guys when they see that over there. They go, oh my God! Now you guys are like, you guys are way too big for your own shoes.
I know.
No,
Way too big for your own shoes
Only
when
5'10" and a 9 foot. Not big enough.
yeah.
Hey, you mind if I ask you a question? Only
Sure.
'cause his question, I'm stuck on. I don't know about the real estate industry. And to me, your question, because I hate when I hear that, and I hate not really giving them like an answer that they can act on.
Got it.
In our industry, I think we're privileged to have a boss that tells you what to do. And guess what? They hand you a paycheck.
Yes.
I think in real estate, you are your own boss, so you maybe don't listen as well, right? Do you guys do a lot of shadowing?
Shadowing, no, I really don't, and I'll tell you why. A lot of realtors don't want to be shadowed because here's the thing about real estate. Real estate's a little different industry into the automobile business because we've got 2 things. Our income is definitely not limited.
Yep.
It's you put the limit on what you want to increase. Everyone's got the same license by DBPR, and you see some people make $60,000, others make $160,000, others make $300,000-$400,000, others make $500,000, $1.5 million, $2 million a year. What is the difference? They all have the same license.
Yeah.
The very same license. Okay. Second of all, the reason that they get this license is because they control their own schedule. So imagine now if I was to call up ladies and say, with all the things she's got going on, you know, she's a married lady, she's got children, got her own life, plus her career and all that, and say this individual is going to be at your home at 8:30 in the morning while you're still in pajamas, trying to get your everything going. You would want to kick them. You'll say, Ishmael, you're nuts. Send them to your house.
Yeah.
Send them to your house. So what they can do is come to open houses, but if they come to our trainings that we do for free, not only do we do these trainings for free, okay, these are mentors, coaches. We're doing these trainings, and many different instructors. We even have free lunch afterwards.
Yeah.
Gourmet lunch by a chef. There is no other real estate agency, at least in the state of Florida, that has their own chef that makes lunch there for you. And people think that the classroom's important. Yes, it is. But that lunchroom is just as important as the classroom. I'll tell you why. Every time that I've gone to do a deal, a big deal, or even I do pretty big deals now. So when I do a deal with the client, I never come to your office, and you don't come to my office. I will find a very nice restaurant near your office. I'm going to cover it. and we will sit there and we will talk business, and then we break bread.
Yeah.
After we break bread, and sometimes we have lunch, and sometimes we have dinner. And I've been there many times to where they're done talking business. They go, okay, enough with the business part. Let's have a cup of wine.
Yep.
So they'll order a bottle of wine, and obviously, I'm not gonna. It's there, but I'm gonna just sip it because, again, like I mentioned earlier,
stay sharp.
3 or 4 words or 3 cups of wine, they're not gonna want to do business with you.
Yeah.
Let them say whatever they want to say. Let them be as silly as they want. But myself, I'm drinking water, and that cup of wine is probably not.
I'm going
gonna
to
go
add
down.
something to that. We also have broker manager
Oh my God,
support
7 days a week.
24/7.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, if a realtor has a question,
Yes.
if Ishmael can get to the phone, I will, or
Any of the-
Carlos
any of the
will, or
managers.
Guillermo. So we kind of have that system where we do not need coaches,
No,
or
we don't. You don't need
that
coaches.
kind of-
And we have finance managers. Also, there are 5 banks here in our office here, and they will all answer your calls. Some of them are amazing. At 11 o'clock at night. 11 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Tell me there's not dedication there.
Yeah.
A lot.
But that's why they are as successful as they are. And they've been in the business for over 40 years.
Yep,
40
absolutely.
years in the business.
Yeah.
Now, here's something really important. In the car business is completely different, okay, but not in the real estate industry. When you get your license as a realtor, 63 hours, you walk out of there, you have zero idea of and you're clueless of what you're going to do. Same thing in the mortgage business.
Yeah.
Is that I think it is 21 hours only. I would not want a 30-year loan. A 30-year loan, that's a long-term loan. That's not 3 years like a car for 5 years that I know I can be done with it within a short term. 30-year loans, long-term loan, in the hands of someone who's got 21 hours
Yeah.
of experience.
No.
They don't know what the heck they're doing. So yeah, we deal with major lenders that are like in 49 states in the United States. So it's very well. Guys, I want to tell you, I want to thank you. We've come to the end of our show. Thank you so much,
Thank
Hector,
you.
for having you.
Thank you, Ismael.
Want to have you guys back again, Marcio.
Thank you so much.
Because you were
Thank you.
able to share so much involved in real estate. And then the important thing is that you guys are going to get a great deal when you when you go over there. But you got to ask for Marcio or Hector, okay?
And you gotta mention partnership.
Partnership.
You
Realty.
got to mention
Absolutely.
Partnership Realty and Mercedes-Benz of the Palm Beaches. They're right there. What's on Okeechobee Boulevard?
Yep.
It's
And if
the
you have
only
a
one.
realtor, by the way, if a specific realtor sent you our way, just bring their business card because obviously we do like to
Oh,
give
yeah.
referral fee out to whoever helps us. So obviously we'll take care of you guys, and if somebody specifically referred you guys, bring their card, give them credit. I mean, we're all in
Thank you.
business.
And now you guys know how important it is to have the right image, the right car. Thank you,
Absolutely.
guys. We will see you on the next podcast, and it'll be next Monday.